everybody, it's co-pastor Jacque White. It is still National Women's Month, and we have been celebrating women all month long. We have something special planned for you over the next 2 weeks. You do not want to miss it. Women, we want you to be a part of it, as well as all of the beautiful men that are in your lives. Make them a part of this awesome opportunity for us to have fun, have conversation, fellowship, and worship together. So listen, we want you to tune in tonight. You do not want to miss this awesome time that we're going to have together. Let's watch together.
Hey everybody, my name is Jacque White, and I am so excited to have some conversations on our carpet this afternoon with some real women who live real lives in an everyday world. I want to thank Have Life for letting us use this facility today. In my current occupation and vocation, as I stated earlier, I am a pastorate, but tonight I am a woman talking to women. Yes. Do I have any ladies in the house? These conversations have been designed to talk to the everyday woman who are made. And we are made to be great. So if you're watching, then I'm talking to you. We live in unprecedented times, yet exciting, right? Last year, even into now, we are surviving this pandemic, this thing that we're just all trying to live in. Even this month, which is National Women's Month, we're celebrating the accomplishments of some outstanding women. In our studio audience, we have some amazing women who are doing great things all day, every day. The figurative and even the literal mountains that we have climbed and that we're climbing, the glass ceilings that we're shattering, the imprint that we're leaving on society, whether it be local, nationally, globally. We're celebrating women today. It's easy to forget sometimes many of the obstacles that they had to overcome, or the women before us had to overcome, or that we are overcoming today. And they can sometimes prevent us from future progress. And the past pandemic, if nothing else, has shown us that we can be introspective and we can reflect and determine who and what we are truly made of and what we will become. So when we lift women, we lift society. I just believe it is because we are made, and we are made. So this is what I want to do today. I want to do an introduction to a series that I want to take these women, or us women, on a journey entitled Made. And so we're going to break down the acronym of MADE. And the first one that I want to talk about is M, mighty. And the definition of mighty just simply says possessing great and impressive power or strength, especially on the account or the account where size does not matter. So we as women, we possess great power, potential that goes beyond what you can see on the outside. Right? So, although we may be the weaker vessel, we are far from being weak. Hello, somebody. We might be the weaker vessel, but we are far from being weak. So, ask a woman who has had childbirth. Hello, somebody. Ask a woman who has maybe had to save their child from running out into the middle of the street. They can stop cars. They can move people. Ask a woman who has had to lose weight to fit into a dress. Hello, somebody. No pain, no gain. We're not weak. But we're made strong. We're mighty, right? So women, we have been made. We are created and we are made. It is important for us and imperative for us to receive and resolve within ourselves that we are created to be great and do extraordinary things. That is the preface of what this whole thing is about, that we have been created to do great things. So when you learn the truth, I'm just giving an introduction to what we're doing. When you learn the truth about who you really are, you will never be the same. Agreed. When you do an introspection of who you are, right, you'll never be the same. And you'll respond differently. When you know who you truly are, when you accept the truth of who you really are, you will accept the change. There is nothing wrong with change unless you forget to tell me that you've changed. So during this pandemic, during this time that we've had some self-reflection, some influence, and some self-discovery, we can look back and say, I think I've changed, or I am becoming something different. I did the preface tonight to just even say, hey, I know who I am, but I know my name too. Right. And first, before anything else, I am woman. Right? So you are a phenom that has been created to shatter and smash ideals, stereotypes, and lies that society has put on all of us. The harder life challenges come, or the harder life challenges push on you, the more people add and obstacles come. They make you stronger. So as we deal with this thing being created, and we have to deal with all these things that we're going through, I just want us to take a moment of reflection, because sometimes we rely on the things that we can only see on the external until we have truly been transformed internally. And so taking this time, we want to take the time to do a self-reflection of what it looks like today. How am I mighty today? How am I created today? How powerful am I today? How extraordinary am I today? And if once we know that internally, you won't allow pettiness or jealousy to rule you. Right? You won't allow low self-esteem to rule you, and you won't allow the opinion of others to rule you. So really taking the time, finding the power within to set peace. Peace is so valuable to everything that we do, because we're the carriers of peace, right? When we walk into a room, we can shift the room, but we want to make sure that we can also cause peace into a room, order into a room, and most of all, we want victory wherever we go. We winning all the time. So look at your sister and say, we winning. So we're going to get into this. I have some amazing made and mighty women joining me today on stage and in our studio audience. And we just want to have some conversations. Okay, so the things that we talk about in our everyday lives, that's what I want to talk about today. Things we see, things we wonder about, why or how. This platform, we're going to do our part. We're going to do our part to respond to the everyday woman, how she responds, how she acts in her everyday life, or how she resolves things in her everyday life. This platform is going to allow us to have those conversations and ask those questions that free us into our truth of being made women. Y'all ready? Okay. Y'all ready? She ready. Okay. So, as women, we can talk. Y'all just giving me banter as we're talking right now. We're just having a conversation, right? Okay. And studies have shown that we naturally use more words than men. Okay? So I have a question. Okay? Do we really talk too much, or are we being unheard by choice? Okay, so I'm going to ask it again. Do we really talk too much because we have a lot of words, our vocabulary is extensive, or are we being unheard by choice?
So, Jackie.
Jackie.
This is Jackie.
Jackie.
Let me say something. Jackie today. So, that question, to me, it's loaded. Mm-hmm. You know, are we not being heard by choice? I am an outspoken person, and I'm fine with it today, but I was not always fine with it. Okay. So when you say, were we not being heard by choice, for me, it was my choice not to be heard. Because others could not take what I had to say and or how I had to say it, how I was saying it. Now, my mama didn't raise no fool. I'm not disrespectful in any way, but that doesn't mean you still liked what I had to say. I had something to say about everything. If you asked me, here it comes. I'm going to give it to you. And that caused me to maybe rub people the wrong way. So people got rubbed the wrong way. I was only answering a question, so did you want me to lie to you, or did you want me to tell you the truth? Yeah. Right, you asked the question, here it is, here's the answer. So after a while, I became silent because people could not take such a big personality from such a small person. They couldn't handle what it was that I was able to give. I remember distinctly people would talk to me over the phone, and when they met me, they actually said, "I thought you were bigger. Your voice is so big. I thought you were bigger." Than like, "That's you, it's me, and I'm ready." But also what I realized is I allowed other people's insecurities to censor me.
Whoa. That's good.
It wasn't me. It was you. You had the issue. You had the problem. You didn't like what I had to say. You didn't like how I said it. So you put that on me, and I censored myself. And it took me a moment to come out of that, because then you have an outspoken woman, you have an outspoken person, then you have an outspoken woman, and then you have an outspoken black woman. Yes. So now this takes us into being the angry black woman. Right. Can I say what I need to say without being the angry black woman?
Right, and then also we were told, like, women are to be seen. Old days, you're just supposed to be seen and not heard. Right, and
sit pretty, sit and look pretty.
Right, so having that conversation with the rising of women being in power. Hello, Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris. Excuse me, I will be clear. With the uprising of women into power, we have to lead and we have to speak. Like, no longer are we being silent. We're sitting and being silent, or we're being censored by what we have to say. But we have to speak because we're leading. A woman, and you said it, especially of color, especially women of color. We are seen as sometimes abrasive, offensive, because I'm just being stern with my words. And Elder Tave, we had a conversation about this before, and you talked about where I would just say what I needed to say, and it wouldn't affect, whoever was around, they were just gonna catch what I had to say. Talk about that.
They're going to catch it. And the same thing is in corporate America. I saw a study that women in general are often just talked over, or they can speak and then the people will just continue on as if they did not say anything. Wow. And I learned, people think that we're the angry black women, but they don't realize we're angry because of being unheard and overlooked and mishandled. So then when they respond, or when we respond, then it's a problem. So even though we have to work with the cards we're dealt sometimes, so even for me, like in corporate America, I had to learn how to sandwich things, say something nice, say what I have to say something else nice. I learned from my counterparts. They'll say, "I agree with you." Even though they don't agree with you, you just say that to loosen it up, and then you say what you really want to say, and then they receive it. And so that we are often unheard in many environments, but then now that we know that, now it's on us to take the next action. So my anger doesn't make you hear me. The anger also causes another reaction from them. So now what can we do to empower ourselves so that we are heard?
You made the comment, you said we have to sandwich it. And I think that so that we're not seen as being offensive. Would anyone like to speak to, how do we make ourselves less offensive?
I think there's a difference when you talk about offense. One of my favorite phrases is, you can offend somebody without being offensive, and oftentimes that's about them. It's not about you. So if you're staying in the right demeanor and in the right decorum, if they're offended, that's on you, boo. I just gave you the information. If you didn't like it, that's your response, right? But I think there's a difference between being aggressive and assertive, and so you got to find that sweet spot in the middle. And then when you're not using your voice at all and you're taking care of other people's feelings, then you're passive. So how do you find the spot in the middle to be assertive, not aggressive, not passive, but say how you feel without offending people?
That's so good. And so I think that it's important for us to make sure that we are using our words responsibly, right? Because we don't want any wasted words. We want our words to mean something. Like when you said what you needed to say, I meant what I said. I said what I said, and I meant what I said, and I meant it. But in that moment, understanding that, okay, I know that I have to use my words responsibly, but I know my words have power. And I know what I say is going to shake, vibrate every foundation that is around me. So when I speak, you should listen, because I do have something to say. Ain't nothing worse. My grandma used to say, ain't nothing worse than being around a silly woman. Don't nobody want to listen to no silliness. And so sometimes we have to make sure that we're using our words, right, responsibly. So thank you for sharing that. Let's move on to another topic. So we talked about our mouths. So now let's move on down the road just a little bit. Okay. So this body shaming thing. Okay? Right? Okay, let's just say it like this. Body shaming is not a new thing. It's been around for forever. Like forever. It's always been here. So body shaming is not a new thing. But we know we are all physically made in different and unique weights, shapes, heights, color shades. Oh, I'm just getting excited thinking about it because we baddies, okay? But as we are changing our mindsets, because we're not letting society dictate or rule how we facilitate in our spaces, how do we help change the way the world perceives strength and beauty? So I'm going to ask the question again. How do we help to change the way the world perceives strength or beauty?
And I think a lot of that is
Come on, Beats by Tay.
being confident in who we are. You can be size 2 and dress to accentuate your figure, and you can be size 22 or 25, whatever the numbers are, and dress to accentuate your figure and walk with confidence and carry yourself confidently. I've seen women that look amazing, and you have no idea what size they are. They carry themselves so well. They accentuate what God gave them, and they look amazing. I went to Dominican Republic on the beach, and it didn't matter what size they were. They were in them bikinis. And I said, I need to come live here so I can get confidence, because they did not care. Young, old, no matter what, it was
out there. It was out there.
proud. And I said, well, this is awesome.
So let's talk about, is that a cultural thing though? Is that a cultural thing? I mean, studio audience, jump in. Is that a cultural thing where they just are not body shamed? They're free. I mean, they got even some new beaches. Hello, they just like, we're gonna live all the way free, because this is who I am and I am beautifully made. So in our culture though, it has been, and now we got this stuff, cancel culture, all this, I mean, all of this stuff is not new, right? It's just how we're responding to it today. So let's talk about that from a culturalistic perspective, that we're sometimes minimized and our beauty is minimized just because of the culture that we live in.
Well, we're always compared to the standard of beauty, the English, American, Anglo-Saxon, white standard of beauty, to be thin and to be quiet and to, have this demure demeanor. And we weren't even brought here like that. Like, we weren't even brought to this country in that way, right? And so, but then still sexualized. Hello? Dare we say that? Still sexualized. And so our parts and our figures have always been over-sexualized and taken advantage of. And so it brought shame into our what's the word? Our gene, our DNA. It brought some shame. And then even our skin. We made fun of each other. As African-American people, as black people, we made fun of each other. You so black this, or, whatever. Your hair so nappy this. And so I'm loving that our culture is evolving to embrace, listen to me, with my little baby locks. See my baby locks, y'all?
Can somebody say,
come on,
link,
my little baby locks. Right. So it doesn't even matter. Like, look at all the women up here. We all have different hair textures and different hair lengths, and we wear them differently, and it's all beautiful. So I appreciate you for this platform of being able to just have a variety of women here with a variety of voices and experiences.
So I'm gonna throw this in here. How do we overcome the shame part? Because we talk about how we would talk about each other, or we would go at each other, and it became very, centralized that, colorism is a thing. And so how do we overcome that shame, the shame factor of, I'm not ashamed, like I'm really proud of who I am and what I look like?
So I believe it's a learned behavior. So we have to knock down that wall. We have to tear down that wall of the learned behavior. I learned that my skin was darker. I didn't just know it. I was in a family, and it just so happened that my younger brother, my mother, my father, all were lighter skinned than I was. But I learned it when someone said, do you have the same mother or father? So we have to break down what we have learned. You have to be willing to let go of the negativity that you learned and that you experienced before you can even move on and say, I accept me. I got to accept me before I can even accept you in your skin. I can't accept you because I'm not happy with me. I don't understand me. I don't understand why this has happened, just in my, just in my life. Like, I don't look like my siblings, but we still have the same mom and daddy.
And I think that's where the shaming comes from, because when you have an insecurity in yourself, you tend to point it out to other people. So when you see someone else looking a certain sort of way, it's your own insecurity that you're projecting outwards. So then you put your shame on them, and now they're like, oh, I didn't even know that I was too dark, or I didn't know that I was too short, or I didn't know that I was, fill in the blank.
The same way I would say, it's funny to me how now that the things that people made fun of us for, having big legs, having hips, having a big booty,
for it.
These things.
BBL is for real, okay?
Now, people are paying for these things.
Lift them up.
And I'm like, hey,
huh?
I have this from the Lord. Thank you. Okay? But it's very interesting because I can remember times when people said things to me in high school about my legs or, something like that. And so I would never want to wear shorts because I didn't want to show my legs. I didn't want anyone talking about me. And then when I got married, my husband's like, girl, you better show them legs. You better show them thighs. Come on. So it is a cultural thing, but we also have to love ourselves. And I think the more that we see other women with those shapes, with those positive attitudes, with that, not only just the courage of it, but hey, I can rock that. I can do that too. That brings some significant change for us as well.
So I think, and thank you all for sharing. Like, I love this, and I feel like we're getting a little loose now, so that makes me feel good. And I think that it's good that we have these conversations because we think it. We think about it, or we're brought these questions or these conversations. And so studies have shown that there are many reasons why we get jealous, from our own insecurities to being obsessively thinking, like we think way too much. Like I played basketball. I had to wear shorts, but I still hated the way I looked in the shorts, to being paranoid, having a paranoid personality, like they gonna think this or they're gonna look like this. So we have all of these tests and these studies that have shown that this is what we experience as women, but we need each other. Yes. Like, I need you. Let me just turn around to both of y'all, all the way around. Say, I need you to tell me when I look wrong, but then I need you to tell me when I look good. Yes. Okay, so before we got started, let's just get free. I said, make sure we look right on stage. Don't have me up here looking like Boo Boo the Fool. I want to look right. Make sure I'm turning the right way. If I look thugged out, if my legs are open, if I just got too much showing, my hair's starting to get frizzy because it's so hot in here. Help me. I need my sister, right? So in an ideal world, women, we would see each other as part of a sisterhood. And that's what I love. Like, I love this platform that we're building. I told these ladies, I want to do life with you. I don't want to just make this on a Sunday or a Monday type of thing, but like, what's going on in your life? Like, I want to know what's happening. So building that sisterhood, not as a comparison, because we know comparison kills, jealousy destroys, but celebrating women for real, without feeling inferior, judged, or suspicious that we can't trust that chick. Yes. I don't do women well. So building that sisterhood, why can't? Let's just talk about it. What are some barriers? What are some barriers that you could see that we could overcome so that we can come together and really build this sisterhood? Because now we have Instagram, we have all these social media platforms where we see, and I was up on the phone last night talking to somebody. I said, okay, girlfriend, you are doing it. You look amazing. So we texting back and forth. I said, okay, what you eating? What you doing? Because I'm celebrating her. This chick done lost 38 pounds. I'm like, well, listen, hunty, help me be great, okay? But celebrating her victory, because this was something, she said, it was really hard. because I love food. And I love food so much that I wasn't eating the right thing. So I'm celebrating her instead of being jealous or she's showing too much, she's doing too. No, do it all because you're that fabulous. You are made. You are a mighty, fierce, and force to be reckoned with, right? So how do we overcome together? How do we build this sisterhood? What are some practical things that we can do for one another to build this sisterhood?
That's good. I think part one is being confident in yourself.
Okay.
I'm not losing anything to celebrate another woman. You're only gaining. You're not losing anything. You're not losing anything. And I feel like when you realize that, you can continue to celebrate other women. And even in business, I'm a makeup artist. It doesn't matter to me if there's another makeup artist right beside me in my city that takes a class with me. What God has for me is for me. Connie, come on. You want to see what we do? I'll show you what we do. Because your mind is different, your heart is different, your techniques are different, your cultural experience is different. Everything about what comes out of you will be different. So why can't we love each other and celebrate each other and lift each other up? And when you sow that, that's what you're going to get back.
That's so good. And go ahead. You want to say something? Yeah, I'm sorry.
You sure?
Yes.
I absolutely love that. We were talking a little earlier, and I said, I can't stand it. I hate it when I hear ladies say, they can't have female friends. It to me, that's something within you that says you just want to be the top woman. You just want to be in top. That's why you hanging with guys, because you just want to be the only woman. They're going to give you all the accolades. They're going to say everything. You don't have to share the platform. You don't have to share the spotlight. And I cannot stand.
I didn't think about that.
I can't stand it. I don't like that because there's enough room for us all. There's enough space for us all. God gave us all talent. And this is something that I realized. I'm not built for what you got.
That's so good.
I'm built for me. Yes. God built me to handle my stuff. Yeah. My stuff is a lot. Yeah. And I don't know how I handled it all if it not for the grace. Yes. But that's what I'm built for. I'm built for my gifts. I'm built for my talents. You're built for your gifts and your talents. So it's okay for me to celebrate you, even if we share the same gifts and talents. Yeah. Even if we can do the same thing. I don't want to be jealous. As a matter of fact, how can I help you? Yes. How can I push you? Yes. How can I take you forward? Yes. Why can't we? And it's not me taking you where I'm going or you taking me where you're going. No, I just want to push you. Sometimes you climbing on a ladder and you just need that little push. Why can't we push? Yeah. Why can't I do that? Oh, because I'm still at the bottom? Actually, I'm not. I'm at the top of wherever God has me.
Yeah. That's good. That's good.
Hey, started from the bottom and now we going up. Huh? Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
And just to piggyback on what Nika said, and I mean this in all seriousness, I have learned so much from Meg Thee Stallion. Like, I am dropping it low, grabbing my knees. My husband appreciates it. But listen, I needed to learn. Just because I'm married and I'm a Christian don't mean that I can't get nasty. And I have. And that's what but if I would have looked at her like, why she doing all that? Why she looking like that? No, how you put your ankles down there with your arms and I got it. And I got it. And he's very happy. But that's
and
the
you'll
point.
Be better for him.
Big thighs save lives.
Big thighs! Yes! But thinking about it, like, so, I mean, and she's doing her, I mean, she's like 26, right? She's young, killing it. I mean, I watched part of the Grammys, and she was just like so excited that Beyonce was on the stage with her, right? She was just so excited, like, oh my God, Beyonce's up here. But she's like, no, I'm looking at you like, you're doing it. Like, I celebrate you. And understanding that even though we don't all do the same thing, we're still great and better together. Come on, ladies, let's get information. Let's get information.
I hope that you enjoyed that amazing conversation that we had. I know that we were laughing. I know that we were having a good time. But these are the things that we talk about, right? These are the things that we have conversations about. And this is things that are happening in our real life today. We hope that you had a great time. But this is what I need you to do. I need you to get ready to sow. I hope that you just haven't been scattering your money. I pray that you have been seeding your money. Yeah, did you hear what I said? I hope that you just haven't been scattering what God has gifted you, but I pray that you've been seeding what God has gifted you. Only what you can seed, only what you seed will grow. Only what you seed will grow. So at this time, let's prepare ourselves to get ready to sow. I know that President Joe Biden has been doing a great job by giving us stimulus checks. Hey, God wants you to give your first fruits. Yes, that is a kingdom mandate, absolutely. But whatever the Lord has gifted you with, whatever the Lord has placed into your hands, it is right to sow. Why? Because we want you to have a harvest. So at this time, please get ready. The information is going to be on your screen, how you can sow. We love you so very much. We cannot wait to see you next week. Have an awesome week.